Welcome into Steelers Talk. I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and today I am unveiling my first 7-round mock draft for your Pittsburgh Steelers on today's show. 7 rounds, got 7 picks, 7 players, no trades that the Pittsburgh Steelers would take here. I think it fills all the needs that the Steelers need currently heading into the offseason. And obviously the needs are going to change and adapt as the Steelers sign more players, cut players throughout the offseason. But as we start kind of the draft season with Senior Bowl week here, this is what I'm thinking for the Pittsburgh Steelers in my first mock draft of the year. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we will be doing weekly mock drafts going out on the weekends here on Steelers Talk. So if you guys want my weekly Steelers mock drafts, this is where you're going to find it. Click that subscribe button for extensive Steelers draft coverage every single day, all throughout the 2025 offseason. So in my first round pick here, number 121 overall, I know a lot of people around the draft space are connecting Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State to the Steelers at number 21, but let me tell you, there's a reason for that, all right? This guy is a perfect fit for what Arthur Smith wants to do offensively. He's a bigger wide receiver that runs beautiful routes. He's great after the catch, and then he's also a great run blocker and a great teammate. All right, he's also a bit older. He's played on a lot of football games. He's played in a lot of playoff caliber football with the Ohio State Buckeyes. Just won a national championship with that team this year. So I think that this is a pick where you're getting a winner. You're getting somebody that fits what the Steelers need as a true route runner and run blocker. He's not going to be the best in terms of separating down the field necessarily, but he's certainly somebody that's going to be able to come in on day one and be a legit starting receiver in this rotation and help this team move the sticks consistently in the passing game. So who's your guy? Let me know down there in the comments section. Who do you want the Steelers to take in round 1 of the NFL draft this year? If I had it my way, guys, and if it was a perfect world, I would have them go and get Ashton Jeanty, running back out of Boise State. I think he could be a special player in year 1 that the Steelers really need at running back, but I don't think he's going to make it to the Steelers at number 21. So in a mock draft with no trades, I do have Emeka Egbuka. Let me know down there in the comments section what you guys want for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of that time by letting me know who you want the Steelers to take in round 1. Then in round 2, I'm going to take the running back that currently ranks 3rd on the Pro Football Focus big board and is ranked very highly by a lot of people. That's Cam Skattebo, the running back out of Arizona State. And, the more I watch Cam on film, the more it screams Pittsburgh Steelers to me. This guy is incredibly tough. He makes people miss in space. And, for as big as he is and as powerful as he is, that's what everybody knows about Cam. He's extremely light on his feet, super quick feet. He can cut and juke and jive and, make people miss in that way. As well, he's got incredible vision to weave through, kind of the formation that the offensive line is able to create for him. And he's also really good as a pass catcher as well out in space. So he's somebody that's going to be able to help this team as a pass catcher, as a true receiver out of the backfield. He's going to be able to move the sticks on short yardage because of his frame and his ability to run people over. And then his vision and his quick feet are going to help him make big explosive plays for this team in the run game. So if you can't get Ashton Jeanty, my preferred pick in round 1, I think Cam Skattebo is going to be somebody that would be an excellent fit in the Steelers offense. Then to round out day 2 for the Steelers here in round 3, I got Azareye'h Thomas, cornerback out of Florida State. Now, Thomas was a participant in the Senior Bowl this year in Mobile, Alabama, and you can see on the picture here, this guy's got long arms, and he's super physical. You guys remember last year, I was a big fan of Renardo Green, another press man corner out of Florida State, and, I think the Steelers really missed out on an opportunity to get him. He played phenomenally for the San Francisco 49ers this year. This guy here, Thomas, I think is, in a pretty similar class to Renardo Green this year. Long arms, physical and press man coverage. The Steelers like to play man coverage more than just about anybody in football, especially when they play the Ravens and Bengals within the division. These are the types of corners that they like. So if you're going to get one on day 2, my pick would be Azareye'h Thomas in round 3. So coming up here on the first mock draft that I have for the Pittsburgh Steelers here during this draft season, got my day 3 picks. So rounds 4 through 7, some potential sleepers that I think the Steelers should be keeping their eye on here this draft season. But before we get into day 3, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Prize Picks, which is the best place to get action on sports in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, Florida, and more. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action all on your phone, and it's free to download right now. Join over 10 million members and sign up today. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. The big game is almost here, guys, and I know you know what game I'm talking about here. Chiefs, Eagles, to decide who the Super Bowl champion or who the champion's going to be in the NFL this year. Don't miss out on the last football game of the season with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the big game this year. Prize Picks is also giving away a free pick for that big game where one of the starting quarterbacks will only need to throw 1 yard to win. So if you're correct on at least one more stat projection, you can win real cash. All right, so pretty much you put Patrick Mahomes, free square, whatever. If as long as he doesn't get hurt on the first play, you're good on that one. All you need is one other projection to hit. Maybe it's an A.J. Brown anytime touchdown or anything else that you can find on the Prize Picks app for the big game, and you guys are going to be walking away with some money with our friends at Prize Picks. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup when you download the Prize Picks app today. Prize Picks, run your game. In round 4, I'm going to take Darius Alexander, the versatile and powerful and violent defensive tackle out of Toledo. This guy is officially a Sperry psycho this year, so you guys know that I love him, and I just love how Alexander defends the run, all right? Some of these other guys like Talik Williams, Deion Walker, they have a little bit of an issue with pad level, so they can get kind of blown off the spot a little bit. I think Alexander on film is a lot better at keeping his pad level, and at 310 pounds, he can play 5 technique if you want. I think he's nimble enough to play there. I think you can put him at 3 technique. I think he's a good enough pass rusher to play at that spot. And I think he's a good enough run defender to play in the nose. So I'm a big fan of Alexander's game. I thought he had one of the best weeks at the Senior Bowl this year. He's a big-time riser, so we'll see where he ends up in terms of where he's going to be taken in this year's NFL draft. But I think right now, round 4 seems about good to me. Now in round 5, I'm going to take Quincy Riley, another corner here, and I'm going to put Quincy in the slot to start his NFL career with the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, and Riley was another guy that I thought played really, really well at the Senior Bowl this year, and he's somebody that I think is a bit of a sleeper. I think he's 177th on the Pro Football Focus big board right now, but I think Riley can play in the slot right away. You take a look at the cornerback depth chart for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cam Sutton is going to be a free agent here, and I think Beanie Bishop Jr. is fine. He was in the right place at the right time, and he made some plays happen interception-wise this year. I love Beanie, but he was a little bit of a liability in coverage this year. I think Riley, he's got those long arms. He can be better in run defense. He can put that long arm of his into the throwing lanes, all these different things. I think Riley, if you don't get a guy like Mike Hilton or somebody else to take on this slot cornerback spot in the Steelers defense, I would go with Quincy Riley. And hey, if the guy we took in round 3, Thomas out of Florida State, doesn't pan out, I think Riley still has the physical skill set to maybe even survive on the outside. So make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already for more Steelers draft content right here on Steelers Talk. Greatly appreciate your guys' support. So if you want more draft stuff, more draft rumors, draft targets, mock drafts, all that stuff, make sure you let that be known right now and click that thumbs up icon. So you might have noticed, Jack, you haven't taken a quarterback yet. You're right. I think that the Steelers are going to go with Justin Fields as their quarterback this year. I think they're going to get a solid high-end veteran backup like a Tyrod Taylor or something like that to back him up. And then I think they take a flyer on a day 3 quarterback. So the quarterback I'll take here is Max Brosmer, big arm quarterback that really came on to the scene later in the season with the Minnesota Golden Gophers. He was terrible to start the season. But he really did a good job finishing that season with P.J. Fleck and the Row the Boat people down there or up there in Minnesota. And he has some really nice tools. So if you're going to spend a day 3 flyer on somebody, I would like to go with a guy like Brosmer, who's got the strong arm. He's been playing pretty well in Shrine Bowl practices this week here in Frisco, Texas. So he's somebody I've got my eye on as a day 3 flyer. Then I'll finish out my mock draft this week with Anthony Belton, offensive lineman out of NC State, who really had a good week at the Senior Bowl this week. I think that he probably increased his stock. So how realistic is it that the Steelers can get him here in round 7? I don't know how realistic it actually is going to be. I think he'll probably be an early day 3 guy as opposed to a late day 3 guy. But, right now the Pro Football Focus big board has him ranked all way down. So if that's the case, I'm going to take him as a sleeper here in round 7 in my first mock draft. I think that Belton would be an offensive line piece that could play anywhere that you need him to. If Broderick Jones sucks at left tackle, throw Belton in there. All right, if Mason McCormick sucks at right guard like he did towards the end of the season this year, put Belton at right guard, right? They put him everywhere except for center at the Senior Bowl, and I honestly thought he played better at guard than at tackle, which is what he's coming out as. So I think Belton would be another piece and another dart throw at offensive line for the Steelers. So that is my first mock draft for the Steelers here this year. My haul includes a receiver in round 1 and Emeka Egbuka. Perfect scheme fits. Cam Skattebo to be your future number 1 running back. Azareye'h Thomas out of Florida State, a cornerback in round 3. Darius Alexander, very versatile, very powerful. Defensive tackle in round 4. Quincy Riley, a slot defender who could potentially have some outside versatility in round 5. Max Brosmer and Anthony Belton in round 7. So grade my mock down there in the comments section, A, B, C, D, or F. Obviously, it's my mock, so I'm giving it an A+ down there in the comments section, but let me know what you guys think down there in the chat. Appreciate all of your guys' support. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. We got more extensive Steelers draft coverage all throughout the 2025 offseason right here on the channel. So if you want that coverage, make sure you click that subscribe button right now. And until next time, guys, here we go, Steelers.